boys and girls and grown-ups. Thanks for coming back. It is time for our Read Aloud. So, we were talking during calendar. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch calendar video first for today. During calendar, we talked about how in a couple of days, it's going to be Earth Day. Today is April 20th. On April 22nd, so in 2 days, it's going to be Earth Day. What is Earth Day? Earth Day is a special day we celebrate to clean up our earth because sometimes some people don't take very good care of our earth. It's called pollution. When we throw trash on the ground and put chemicals in the air and in the water, and it makes our earth sick. But we can take care of our earth by cleaning it up. So I have a book today called The Berenstain Bears Don't Pollute Anymore. And then it says, Save the Earth. Let's see what this story is about. The Berenstain Bears Don't Pollute Anymore. By Stan and Jan Berenstain. All right, I'm going to do my best to read the words and show you the pictures, but there's a lot of words on the page, so stay with me. Well, looky here, said Papa Bear as he opened the evening news. Your friend, Professor Actual Factuals, got his picture in the paper. Oh, said Brother and Sister Bear, coming to see. There's a big story, too, said Papa Bear. And a headline. My goodness, said Mama Bear. What's it about? Leading scientist claims Bear Country is in serious trouble, he said, reading the headline. What sort of trouble? Asked Sister. So the professor, the teacher's in the newspaper, saying that where they live is in trouble. Papa, who was reading the story to himself, didn't answer. What sort of trouble? Said Mama, repeating Sister's question. Oh, you know how professors are, he said. Actual Factual's making a big fuss about pollution. Huh. Papa Bear said they're in trouble because of pollution. Well, I know how Professor Actual Factual is, said Mama, and I think he's quite sensible. So do I, said Sister. Me too, agreed Brother. Oh, he's a great guy, all right, said Papa. He's dug up some terrific dinosaur bones, and he runs a great museum. But I happen to think he's gone a little overboard on this pollution thing. I'm as much against pollution as the next fellow, he continued. I just don't think a couple of candy wrappers and drinking cups along the side of the road is the end of the world. So, Professor Actual Factual wrote in the newspaper and said that the world is in trouble from pollution. How does Papa Bear feel about it? He's not worried. He says a couple of pieces of trash on the side of the road isn't that bad. He doesn't think pollution is a problem. Let's see what happens next. Besides, Bear Country is in great shape. Come on, I'll show you. He opened the door and led the family out onto the front porch. You see, Bear Country is not only in good shape, it's downright beautiful. The rolling hills, the forests, the lakes, and the streams, and just look at that sunset. So Papa Bear takes the family outside and he says, look, I don't see any trouble. There's no pollution here. It's beautiful, all right, agreed Brother. But our science book says that some of those colors are caused by chemicals in the air that shouldn't be there. Piffle, said Papa. Say, aren't you two supposed to be doing homework? Papa Bear still doesn't think there's a problem, does he? Sister, who had just about completed her homework, finished quickly, but Brother Bear was stuck. Teacher Bob had asked him to do a report on endangered species. What's an endangered species? An endangered species is a group of animals that's in trouble of not being here anymore, becoming extinct. Like dinosaurs. They're extinct. They don't live on Earth anymore. A group of animals that's endangered means there's not a lot of them left on Earth, and they might not live on Earth anymore. The books he had taken out of the school library weren't very helpful. Of course, the kind of shape Bear Country was in wasn't as simple as Papa made it seem. How Bear Country looked depended on your point of view. It looked fine from the bear family's front stoop. It looked even better if you had a bird's eye view while flying high above the earth. But if you had a squirrel's eye view and were finding fewer and fewer acorns because too many trees were being cut down, Bear Country didn't look so fine. If you had a duck's eye view, you might think the professor was right about pollution. Look at, there's all trash in the stream and on the riverbank. And if you had a fish's eye view, you might think things were downright awful. Look at all the trash where the fish live. The next day, Brother decided to visit the museum to ask Professor Actual Factual for help with his endangered species report. Sister Bear went with him. So, hold up. Why do you think some of the animals in Bear Country might be endangered? From the pollution. That's what Brother Bear is trying to find out. Professor Actual Factual was usually cheerful and friendly and bubbling over with ideas and projects when the cubs visited. But this time, he looked worried and glum. He's cheered up a bit when he saw them. But when Brother told him the purpose of the visit, to get help on a report about endangered species, he said something very surprising. I'll tell you the endangered species to do your report on. Us. The professor said the bears are the endangered ones, not the animals, not the other animals. We don't understand, they said. It's very simple, explained the professor. We bears and all other creatures need certain things to survive. Clean air to breathe, pure water to drink, and good soil to grow food in. If we don't do something about pollution, we're all going to become endangered. He's saying we need a healthy earth to be healthy ourselves. And if we don't take care of the earth, we're not going to be healthy either. Come, he said. You'll understand soon enough. He led them out to where the Actual Factual mobile was parked. It was a special van with all kinds of scientific gear in it. They're going on a trip. Then the professor took Brother and Sister on a Bear Country tour they wouldn't soon forget. They went past Grizzly Gus's garage where they saw oil leaking into a stream, getting on a duck, and killing some fish. They went past the old box factory where they saw ugly black smoke pouring into the air. Oh, this is awful. They scuba dived into Great Bear Lake. where they saw everything from soda cans to rusty old bed springs, and worse, they saw a fish tangled in a plastic soda can holder. They cut it loose, but they couldn't rescue all the fish from all the plastic holders carelessly thrown away. Oh, goodness. It's bad. They drove through the forest and saw that a great many trees had been cut down and that not many new trees had been planted to replace them. "You might speak to your dad about that," said the professor. "He and his fellow woods bear could help with that problem." It's Papa Bear's job to cut down trees. That's what he does for work. "I think I see what you mean about becoming an endangered species," said Brother when they got back to the museum. "Yes," agreed Sister, "but what are we going to do about it?" "Did that evening news story do much good?" asked Brother. "Not much," said the professor. "The idea that Bear Country is in serious trouble because of pollution seems to be hard to get across." "To grown-ups, maybe," said Sister, "but we understand, and all our cub friends will too, because we're the ones who'll have to live on a messed up, polluted earth when we grow up." "Professor," said Brother, "how does this sound? You come to our school and explain all about pollution to the cubs of Bear Country. Maybe we can do something about it." Actual Factual was impressed. "I'll give Teacher Bob a call right away and arrange it," he said. And that's what happened. The cubs were all eyes and ears as Actual Factual told them about the trouble Bear Country was getting into. First, he taught them 3 important new words: ecology, conservation, and recycle. The way the plants and the earth itself work together. Conservation means not wasting valuable things of the earth, like water, oil, wood, and metal. And recycle means finding ways to use some of those valuable things over and over again. The cubs learned quite a lot from Actual Factual, and they had some ideas of their own. "How about a recycling program?" suggested one cub. "Maybe for newspapers to start," added another. "Then, if it works, for cans and bottles, too." Tim Honeypot said he'd talk to his dad, Mayor Honeypot, about recycling. Brother Bear remembered Grizzly Gus's garage. "You shouldn't be allowed to spill oil into streams and kill fish," he said. Babs Bruno, whose dad was the chief of the police, said, "I'll talk to my dad. If there isn't a law against it, there ought to be one." So what's some of their plans? They're going to work on getting people to recycle more and work on getting laws in place so that it's illegal to pollute in certain parts of Bear Country. I love these ideas. Even Too Tall helped with an idea. "My uncle owns the Super Duper Market. He could put in a bag return plan for reusing bags." "Excellent suggestions," said the professor. "And if some folks don't want to cooperate," added Too Tall, "me and the gang can lean on them a little." "The bag return is fine, Too Tall," said Teacher Bob, "but no leaning." So even little kids can come up with ways to help. That's amazing. Cousin Freddie had the best idea of all. "Let's start a club to stop pollution and call it the Earth Savers Club. We'll make posters and bumper stickers and have cleanups and marches and parades." But there was still the problem of Papa and his fellow woods bear. What do you think they're going to do about Papa? Do you have an idea? Go ahead, make a guess. What could they do with Papa Bear and the other woods bear who are cutting down the trees? Let's see if your guess is right. That evening, brother and sister told Mama and Papa about the Earth Savers Club and all the plans for stopping pollution. Mama was very impressed. Papa was too. As I said before, I'm just as much against pollution as the next fellow. But when the cubs asked him to be sure that he and his fellow woods bear plant a new tree for every one they cut down, he got a little grumpy. So what was their idea to help Papa? They want the people who cut down the trees to plant a new tree every time they cut one down. I love that idea. He grumped. It's hard enough to cut trees down without having to plant them as well. Besides, what's all the fuss about? They're just trees. My dear, said Mama, the cubs are right. The forest is a living thing and deserves respect. Papa was about to say piffle, but thought better of it. Papa doesn't really like that idea. The problem of conserving the forest must have been on his mind because that night he had a dream. In the dream, he was walking toward the forest to cut wood when the trees began to sway and wave their branches. Then the branches turned into reaching, grasping arms. Then the trees climbed out of the earth on their roots and chased Papa. Help! Cried terrified Papa in his sleep. The trees! They're after me! He woke up in a cold sweat. That's a bad dream. Having a nightmare? Asked Mama. It must have been something I ate, he said. Or something you heard, perhaps, she said. Maybe about trees? Piffle, he said, and turned over to try to go back to sleep. But it wasn't going to be easy. He's got the trees on his mind. The cubs didn't expect to solve all of Bear Country's pollution problems with the Earth Savers Club, but it was a very good start. The mayor declared a special holiday called Earth Saver Day, and the cubs had a big parade. Brother and Sister Bear marched at the head with Professor Actual Factual. So they had an Earth Day too. There were many grown-ups in the parade too, including Papa Bear, who carried a sign that did not say piffle. It said, a good woods bear plants a tree for every single one he cuts. No ifs, no ands, no maybes, or buts. So he finally agreed with the little bears. The end. That was a very long story, so thank you for sticking it out with me. We learned a lot about what is making Earth sick, and we learned a lot of ideas about how to help Earth. I want you to talk to a grown-up when this video is over about what made the Earth sick and what can we do to fix it. 2 things. What is making the Earth sick? What can we do to fix it? Grown-ups, encourage some ideas. Talk about it. If you have to rewind the video to go to certain pages of the story, go ahead. That might help them. You don't have to write today. I feel like some of you are feeling overwhelmed with all of the packet work and things like that. So today, just focus on talking to your kiddo. Listen to the story. Talk to them about it. Do your packet work. Go on Smarty Ants. Try and tone it down a little. Sound good? If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to message me. I will be calling friends for their scheduled phone calls today, and we will talk soon. I love you all. Bye.